Hi, I'm Yash from TOPdesk, and today we're going to be talking about the pitfalls of implementing Agile service management. But before we begin, remember to hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on the latest service management trends, tips, and tricks. More and more organizations are starting to implement Agile service management, but not everyone gets it right. Here are 7 things to avoid when applying Agile to ITSM. Number 1, taking a top-down approach. You can approach Agile transformation in 2 ways, top-down or bottom-up. With the top-down, the initiative comes from the manager, CEO, or CIO to make a large part of the entire organization more agile. But a bottom-up approach is usually more successful. This means the team takes initiative to implement in an agile way of working. Someone in the team wants to experiment with Agile, the manager is enthusiastic, and a Scrum team is formed. When this team performs well, more teams might follow and the organization becomes curious. An approach that combines bottom-up and top-down works best. A team takes the initiative to implement a more agile way of working and finds support at the top of the organization. Number 2, using the waterfall method. 10 years ago, lots of people believed that you needed to use Prince 2 for an agile transition. You make a design, you implement it step by step, create milestones, etc., etc. It sounds obvious, but an agile transition requires an agile approach. It's a complex project after all. People start to work together differently, your way of working changes, and your tools are different. It's best to have an iterative transition with a multidisciplinary team and a change backlog. An added bonus is that you set the right example straight away. Number 3, being too strict. Agile frameworks like Scrum offer different techniques to apply an agile mindset to your daily work. A backlog, retros, they're all very visible. But these techniques are just the tip of the iceberg. They're based on certain assumptions about how to organize your work. And these assumptions fall back on principles from the Agile Manifesto or Modern Agile. Some people have the tendency to be very strict with these techniques without understanding its underlying principles. But some techniques might not work for your organization, so it would be a shame to follow them religiously. In the end, you need to embrace the Agile values, not the techniques. That's why it's good to explain the underlying principles to someone who wants to do Agile, so they can fall back on them. Number 4, creating variations on existing techniques too quickly. Yes, you need to make Agile techniques your own, but not from the very start. Often you see that teams start varying on existing techniques or cherry-picking elements from different frameworks. It's good to experiment, but first you need a solid foundation. Work with an existing method for 6 months or a year and experience what it's like. How do sprints work? What's a good retro? How do we formulate customer value? Only when your foundation is solid can you start varying. Number 5, people working in an Agile and project team. Agile working and project-based working have fundamentally different starting points. For Agile, you have the same teams with the same team members who know each other's strengths and keep evolving together. With project-based work, you search for a temporary group, you bring the teams together, and you do the work. These ways of working cannot be combined. Number 6, thinking of an Agile transition as an IT party. People often have limited views on the impact of Agile working. Agile is not limited to the IT Scrum team. It's a cultural shift that impacts all processes and people in your organization, from finance to HR to management. Think about it. When teams become self-managing, how does this impact team leads? How do you assess people in Scrum teams? Are yearly budgets and Scrum teams a good match? And in most cases, once one team starts working Agile, other teams throughout the organization start to shift towards Agile too. Number 7, scaling up too soon. Lots of people have experience with working Agile on a team level, but if the team is up and running, how do you scale up to 2 teams or 3 teams or 20? And how does Agile work in departments like sales or HR? There's multiple frameworks for scaling up Agile teams, like the Spotify model, SAFe, which is Scaling Agile Framework, and LESS, which is Large-Scale Scrum. But if you don't have to scale up, don't do it. See, if you can let the teams work independently of each other, don't start thinking about scaling frameworks until there's no other way. Resist the temptation to scale as soon as possible and as soon as people start getting enthusiastic about Agile. Only fix things when there is friction. Want more service management content? Check out the description box and hit the notification bell to receive updates every time we post.
This one?